Robinson, Commissioner for District 1, running for re-election. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
The first question we have for you is, what do you think the three biggest issues are facing the county, and how would you go about addressing them?
Okay. I think managing growth, as well as transportation and environmental protection, are three areas that are probably intertwined. Managing growth, I've been the voice standing up for, let's say, the disenfranchised folks in the county who want to see a change in policy towards the way we grow this county. And so I've been on the minority of a lot of votes that have ended 3-2, but I think that it's very important to be that voice for those people who are coming out in massive numbers, who are giving their own time, their own energy, because they recognize that the way things have been done in the past is not the way that we should proceed in the future. And it intertwines because I like to think of myself as being collaborative in terms of developing relationships at both the state and federal level. And when we do things right, that results in getting funding from those entities. And that brings up transportation. Strong supporter of mass transit in the county, or bringing mass transit to the county. Right now, all we have are commuter buses. I have supported bringing light rail or some other form of mass transit that will connect Charles County with Metro. And the only way that's going to happen successfully is for us to work with the state and grow responsibly. Currently, we have not yet voted on a comprehensive plan. The draft plan that's before us is awful. I've voiced my opinions on that repeatedly. I think just being part of that strong minority has actually prevented the plan from being adopted to this point. I think it's more than just the citizens coming out, though I think that's probably the most important thing. And but having at least 2 commissioners standing with the citizens has, I think, scared my colleagues from actually going forward and passing that plan. And you know, it also relates to environmental protection. We are so fortunate in this county to have over 200 miles of shoreline, pristine Potomac River and Patuxent River access, or at least, you know, being surrounded by it. And you know, when you lose that forever. And I think we are very fortunate that our quality of life is still fabulous in this county. And I think that when you take in managing growth, providing transportation, protecting the environment, those things help foster and continue quality of life. And then, of course, the next important thing is schools and education. And specifically making sure that our students not only get the best education possible, but get it in facilities that live up to 21st century standards. I'm very happy that St. Charles High School is going to be opening in just a few months, and that will alleviate overcrowding for the most part at the high school level. But if we don't manage our growth, we're going to be in the same situation that we were in when North Point was opened. Another great high school, but within such a short period of time, there were portable classrooms, or as we like to call them, and calling them what they really are, and they are trailers. And I would be so exist at the middle and elementary school level, build for the future, so that we make sure that our standards are high for our students.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
What have you done, well, you're already a commissioner, but the second question is, what have you done to prepare for the commissioner job? But more importantly, since you're already a commissioner, what sets you apart from the field?
I think what I have brought to the office of commissioner is a combination of my previous experience, and that is both as a working journalist and as someone who has also been a professional in marketing and public relations. And you know, I take the job very seriously. I don't take myself too seriously. I've utilized social media like I think no one ever has in this county, perhaps not even in the state. I'm very interactive, I'm available, and I'm a promoter. I think part of my job is also to be a cheerleader for the county. In addition to, like I said, all the serious things, I've brought a lot of positive media attention to the county, from everything from deciding to rename the snakehead to getting global attention on that. And I should also say that it's now the spotted chana, and should probably stop using the term snakehead. But again, collaborative efforts, bringing to the job, getting federal funding for a new rail trail that's going to be opening next year. the Pope's Creek Rail Trail, which, getting back to the previous question about access to the river, this will be the first time that citizens will actually have public access to our waterway at Pope's Creek, because in addition to the rail trail, we'll have a visitor center and pier that's going to be part of that project. Getting back to education, working with the state and working with the College of Southern Maryland, the fourth campus for the College of Southern Maryland will be located in Charles County in Hughesville. It's developing relationships, and I think that's probably the one thing that I brought into this job and have employed during my term as commissioner to get things done. Harry Nice Bridge is another example. We've gotten $50 million in state funding towards replacing that antiquated and obsolete roadway, bridge, and $50 million has taken it from the if to the when, because you don't commit $50 million for studies. This is going to be part of what will ultimately be a very modern and much needed facility.
Thank you. There's a perception that much of county business happens out of the public's view. Do you agree? If not, why? And if so, what positive steps will you take to improve transparency?
Well, when I first became commissioner, I was surprised at how un-21st century the county was in terms of technology that would make the county government more accessible and transparent. So within weeks, county television was made available on the county's website, live. The county has a Facebook presence, the county has a Twitter account. So in addition to what I've talked about previously personally about utilizing social media, the county is doing that. Yeah, there are, some of my colleagues are not as transparent as I would like them to be, and I've fought that every step of the way, including we appoint citizens to a lot of very important commissions and boards. I think that should be done out in the open. It's not, but I can only express my opinion that I think it should be done, especially for positions on boards such as the Board of Appeals and especially the Planning Commission. So as best I can legally, because there are legal restraints to what you do in the open, anytime that there's something that can be legally done in the open, I'm all over it.
Thank you. What is the most critical issue specifically facing District 1?
Well, District 1 is very large geographically. It encompasses the southern part of the county, and it extends all the way to the east to Benedict and Hughesville, and based on the redistricting goes as far west as Welcome and Port Tobacco. But it also encompasses the town of La Plata. So it is both suburban, not quite urban, but definitely also still very rural. So I would like to see the rural character of the county, where it still is rural, to be maintained. And I think that's, fighting against sprawl is very important. And our growth should be directed and managed in the areas that can support it, where the infrastructure exists, where traffic can be controlled, where sewer and water already exists. So I think maintaining our rural character in a large chunk of District 1 is probably quite important. And that's why, tourism goes hand in hand with the rural part of the county. I mentioned the Pope's Creek Rail Trail. Well, goes down to the river. That's where our seafood restaurants are. That's really the heart and soul of historic Charles County. And that's probably the biggest issue, is being able to maintain that.
Thank you. Now it's time for our wild card.
Oh, I'll let you pick for me.
You want me to do it for you? Okay. Well, this one's right there.
Do you need my glasses?
No, I actually need to take them off to read these days. Do you support the charter board, and please provide a justification?
That's a great question. I've always been somewhat ambivalent about charter form of government. County has grown to a population of over 150,000 people, and my experience over the past 4 years as a commissioner makes